what a live stream in this video is about: isolation and how it's helping me evolve and grow and transform into a new creature and a new being. Now, I saw a video on this earlier today, so I'm making a live about it. And dude was talking about how isolation will give you superpowers. Isolation, it will give you superpowers, bruh. Um, Now, what he really meant about that uh, was really trying to find one's true self. Because what does isolation typically do? It kind of forces one to face a lot of the personal demons, problems, whatever it may be, that people don't face in the hustle and bustle of life. You know what I'm trying to say? So with that, think about it. In the fast-paced world we live in and all the confusion and chaos, we don't really get a lot of time to sit and really think and really, process things in our mind. Especially if you have a family, you got kids, you have no time to process because your whole life is circulated around them. Maybe a quiet night in, maybe, when you're laying in your bed, or maybe after you put the kids to sleep, who knows, where you have these moments of silence and moments of peace to reflect and really maybe pray, think about things, but it may not be that frequent. You know what I mean? So what I'm really trying to explain and talk about is isolation and how it really just like removes the layers, man. It really takes all the layers away and puts you in a position to where you got to face yourself. You got to really look in the mirror and be like, man, what's going on, man? Oh, man, this irks me, man. These are my feelings, man. This is where I'm going, man. This is not what I should be doing. There's a lot of reflection and introspect that goes into it. So that's what this whole video was about, man. But that video was detailing superpowers you could earn, and I'm not gonna go into all of the things that they call as or deem as superpowers. But with that being said, I'll kind of touch on a few things. Now, one thing it was talking about how isolation, like I said, makes you face your own demons and get you in tune with your feelings and emotions. Now, a lot of men naturally don't like to talk about feelings and emotions because we're logically sound creatures, right? We're not emotionally driven or based. And a lot of people say, a lot of women like to use the word emotionally intelligent. And to my understanding, or to what I believe that really means, is just someone who's in tune with their emotions or can understand or communicate and reciprocate with someone who is emotional or going through an emotional time. People who aren't privy are people who are just oblivious to like reading the room, essentially. They're not aware. So with that being said, man, he was talking about how like a lot of people don't face their feelings or face what they're afraid of, face what kind of like rubs them the wrong way. They just go through life drowning out things with vices, maybe work, social media, and stuff like that. So it's kind of crazy, man. Like he's 100% factual. Like imagine the average life of a New Yorker. The New Yorkers, man, they on the subway, they're in the train station, and they continuously just are on the move. Like I've been to school with New Yorkers, bro. They don't care. They're on the tunnel vision mindset. They don't really let things, they don't see the outside things, and they don't really take introspect or retrospect is my point. And I'm generalizing, obviously. But to that point is, that's how a majority of us are in life. So imagine if you're in life just walking through like a zombie. You're not really taking in your surroundings and really sitting with yourself. You're not really internalizing fully. So he was talking about, man, if you're in complete isolation, that veil is removed. You're basically just forced to sit with problems and face situations that you ran away from your whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I work remote. So imagine if you're a remote worker. You're not going into the office. You're not communicating with coworkers. And then imagine you move to a new city. You're remote in a new city. You're not really stepping outside like that. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to the happy hours. That's why that's what ties in devices. Everybody, please do me a favor and like the video, man. We got 17 people in the stream. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. But that's my point. When people drown themselves out with so many different things, they're not going to face the issue. So that's what he leans towards: emotional stability or maturity as a superpower. Now, the other superpowers that he talk about is the fact that it builds resilience over time. When one can sustain on by themselves or stand up on their own 2 feet, they don't need people. People will naturally come into your life based off to the fact that you stand tall. You're like a beacon. You're a light. Let me shout out the people in the stream really quick. We got Gabriel Ruiz says hi. The GOAT producer says hello. Shout out to y'all, man. Sierra said, "You're doing a great thing. Thank you. I needed this. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. Spring Jazz shows love." So yeah, that's my point, man. So to that point, what I was trying to say is being resilient. We live in a society to where everybody wants to date somebody. We on dating apps. Everybody needs a relationship. They need a partner. Uh, Marriage is the dream. You know what I'm saying? Where people don't even consider seasons of isolation and just understanding themselves, bettering themselves, learning how to stand on their own 2 feet and be sufficient. They always got to cling on to somebody else. Bro, I used to go to, when I was in high school, I had a friend of mine or associate of mine, bro, was in relationships like this. Now, back in high school, he was a popular kid. So dude was getting girls. He could get girls. He could break up with a girl and he's with another girl already talking to a girl. But he was a dude I saw as never single. He would break up with a girl. He had a girlfriend the next week. And I would always look at him and be like, in that moment, I'm like, man, he cool. You know, when you're in high school, and you see the popular kids, you think they're cool. I'm like, man, he got it like that. But you know, as we, not to knock him, but the people who are popular in high school aren't the people who do the same things in life. You know, on average. You know, you watch sitcoms and the people who are prom king and queen turn to be bums, and you know, when you go to a high school reunion, those kids aren't that popular. But anyways, I'm dragging it. What I'm trying to say is he was an example of a person that couldn't sustain on his own. He found value in relationships. He could only find happiness in a relationship or somebody with him, tagging along with somebody. He didn't know what it was like to build himself up and sustain by himself and understand who he is, understand his insecurities, man. That's like when you're like that, you don't even know who you fully are. So after we graduated, he got strung on drugs, you know what I'm saying? He got like 2 or 3 kids now, and he had kids prematurely, like before anybody was having kids. So it kind of put him in a position to where he was clingy. And it resulted in what? Kids prematurely, like things happen in his life that maybe not the average person would want to face. So, and he would have to go to vices and stuff like that. And everybody has problems, man. I'm not pointing the finger, but what I'm trying to say is a superpower you'll learn and develop in isolation is being able to really look at yourself in the mirror and know who you are. You don't have dependability on people. Oh, I need a girlfriend. Bruh, if you can't be the best self, you can't be best for anybody else. You know what I'm saying? People think that another person's gonna fulfill them, but it's not. And I would say one thing I'm happy about is the fact that I realize that people will not fulfill me. The world will never fulfill you, bro. Because one thing about people, we're naturally greedy. We naturally are chasers, go-getters. We want. You could have, you're still gonna want. Oh, that didn't satisfy me. I want this. Maybe this will. You're always gonna be looking to the next thing. So you have to find that internal peace. And a lot of people never do. They get strung out. They prematurely delete themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's the sad way to go out. So yeah. With that, man, those are 2 things I've touched on. There's a couple other points that he made, but imagine. I've always liked separating myself and getting away because it's like I can recreate myself. Like it's like a renewal. It's like I evolve, and it's like you're not getting the fingers pointed at you left and right. You don't got your parents whispering in your ear. You don't got your siblings telling you what to do. You don't got your cousin, whatever it is, bro. When you're in your hometown and your family circle, those are the people who critique you the most because they think they know who you are already. So they won't even allow you to become. They think they've already got you in a box. So how are you going to evolve and grow? They've already put you there and said, hey, this is you. You're my son. You're my cousin, bro. You're just my cousin Fabian, man. You ain't going to amount to nothing. That's how they be thinking. Because they've grown up with you and they see you all the time. That's normalized like that. But be careful because that is how you get lost in the sauce. Now, I went off on a tangent because, I mean, of course, the video is not the focus. Moving away from your hometown is not the focus of the video. But I think that plays into partially understanding who you are. If you got your parents always painting a narrative about you and your friends telling you who you are, you haven't even done the real searching. Because typically in your hometown, you're never alone. You got people you know. When you move away, that's when you got to be forced to make relationships, and maybe you're not just hanging out every weekend. So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. There's a lot of beauty that can come from isolation and really sitting. They say the way to excel, the path to obtainment and excelling, and the other side of the hill or the grass being greener on the other side is through. You know what I'm saying? It's always through. You got to go through the fire, man. You got to go through the fire. I've always told myself, man, I could get out of it by doing this. I could do this. I always try to shortcut because it was too hard. The struggle was too much. It hurt too bad. But the continuous hurt that you face going in the circles over and over again will hurt to a detrimental extent if you can't just suck it up and push through. I'd rather go through the fire to get to the greener side than have to continuously go through the fire because I'm not allowing myself or living my truth or being honest with myself. You just continuously hitting roadblocks at that point, man. It don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? So let me know y'all's thoughts on this if y'all have thoughts, man. We've been live for close to 11 minutes. We got 2 people in the stream currently. Hopefully y'all are subscribed to the channel and y'all can do me a favor and like the video, man. But yeah, man. If more people face the music of isolation and being by themselves, they will become greater people. But not everybody's has that privilege. I used to always think being a loner and an outcast was like some type of negative thing. But it's crazy how the Lord works backwards. Everything that the world perceives as bad, usually the Lord uses that in a completely different way. It's funny. You notice how everything God does is opposite than how man does it? The first will be the last. You know what I'm saying? The last will be the first. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always the flip side. It's never what you would think. The people who are strung out in the lowest of the low are the people who rise. People who are already on top, they're not even, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, it's always the anomalies or a rare case that's being used to show the glory in the kingdom. That's my point. So it's always going to be the hard things. It's never going to be easy. You got to go through those trials and tribulations because pressure makes diamonds. So yeah, that's what I'm getting at, man. That's what I'm getting at. Much love, appreciation to everybody who took time to join this stream. I didn't plan on being live long, so unless y'all want me to continue the conversation, somebody mentioned something. Um, if not, I'm just gonna go ahead and hop off, man. You know, this video that I watched before really had inspired me, and because obviously I'm dealing with that now. I've been in seasons of isolation my whole life, and early on, I'm like, why am I always alone? Why am I always the black sheep? Why does nobody ever understand me? My own family and friends, though, I never feel fully comfortable around them in the sense of course, I love them, but they never understand my vision or the things I talk about. They always look at me like I'm crazy. I've always been the outcast type. I always was the one who was the mess up. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I can see how God's moving in my life in the most amazing ways to where it's now hitting. It's now resonating. You know what I'm saying? It's usually the ones that are on the path of loneliness to where God is the closest. He's the nearest to you, man. So just take encouragement in that. You know what I'm saying? Continue to press forward and you'll be all right. That's the thing about God. He's spirit. He's supernatural. You believe you're all right. You have faith. You're all right. It's not the world standards to where you just continuously worry about things and, oh, what's going to happen? He is who he is. And anything you believe and asking for is done already. So that's the period. You questioning it, oh, well, is he real? That's That's the world. That's the worldly nature. You gotta let your spirit flourish. Don't even question it. It is. It's said and done. You know what I'm saying? So much love, man. Prosperity to all of y'all. I hope y'all elevate and excel in everything y'all want to do. I pray God is closely walking with you in your life. Even if you don't even acknowledge him. Even if you don't believe in him. You don't trust in him. You don't see him. I pray he continues to move in your life and he got his hand over you and meets you where you are. That's a beautiful thing about God. He'll meet you where you are in your situation to where you're like, this can't be a coincidence. How can this happen? Because he know you better than you know anyone. You know yourself, essentially. I just pray that he meets you in your situation. You know what I'm saying? So peace, love, prosperity, man. God bless y'all. We'll see y'all in the next video. We out.